All right, let's just jump right into it. I'm
Right.
just sketchy, and this is Failco. Failco, just quick introduction, if you don't mind. What do you do? Where you're from? What do you do? Who are you, by the way?
Who am I? Oh God. I'm some idiot who used to stream Gigantic a long time ago. I used to get flown out to Gigantic like cons and teach people at them. It was fun.
Hmm.
Um, kind of a big deal. No, I'm but when I'm not playing games, I'm a senior visual designer right now at a startup called Sprocket. Ooh, but I've
Sick.
also worked on some games maybe you've heard of, Spellbreak, Hearthstone, that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I like games, you
Same,
could say.
same.
Um, and I live on the East Coast, so there's like PAX near us that I used to go to all the time. Not anymore because it's like a COVID central and I'm tired of waiting in lines. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah.
That's good. No, that's good. Again, I appreciate you taking the time and sort of just chatting with me because, well, the topic at hand, if the thumbnail and or title didn't give it away by now, again, thank you, Failco, for taking the time to sort of just chat about this because I think Failco does have a decent amount of experience when it comes to specifically Gigantic, and my point of view and my approach is always going to be sort of the mainline consumer because I wasn't as heavily involved in like the community aspect of things, and I was very much aware of it during, its infancy, pre-Overwatch era, and then it being part of sort of the decline, and me just kind of like, all right, fine, whatever, it died, and I moved on, right? And a lot of people sort of stuck with that, and I think you are sort of part of that group that kind of stuck with it for a little bit, and then big hopes, big dreams, here's another release, and we're all kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it seems like another failure here, and I kind of just wanted to touch on that, and I think you can give some insight as to expectations, what may or may not happened, and so on and so forth. So for starters, for people that may not know, can we just sort of encapsulate what Gigantic is, besides just being like a hero shooter? I guess that's probably the easiest way to describe it, right?
Hero shooter with some MOBA elements is
Right,
always a way I've thought of it.
right,
Giant monsters instead of Nexus,
right.
as you would think of League terms,
Yeah,
and you can upgrade your character with ability trees instead of items.
yeah. And just speaking on behalf of that, like that alone sounds interesting, right? Like, and that sort of formula does do well from time to time. I want to say majority of the time it does do well amongst players, but now seeing it sort of rise up and again fall down. I can pull up sort of Steam charts here, and then those numbers were kind of yikes, I'll be honest. We're like in the
God.
20s, I think, at some point, dude. Like, it
I
was,
think today it was at 37 for a minute.
let's see here. All right, well, ranked did just get announced, so we're at 118. Whoop,
Nice.
doo-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh, but
128.
I will say this though.
Yeah.
Gigantic is like a MOBA without creeps, right?
Right,
Like
right.
without farming lanes and all
Yeah.
that boring stuff I hate in MOBAs.
No,
So that's why
no
I
scaling.
love it.
There's really no like scaling potential in terms of like buying items and not overestimating. What's the right word I'm looking for? I guess gaining too much power versus the other opponent, essentially. Right? You can't like overpowering. There you go. You can't become like this unstoppable godlike hero because you farmed X amount or you got X amount of kills, right? Like, you're more or less pretty balanced amongst other characters.
Yeah, like you can gain levels and like have more abilities quickly
Right.
before other people, but
Right.
like yeah, there's no kind of like, oh man, I bought the OP weapon that's 30,000
Right.
gold.
Right. Yeah. Which doesn't make it user friendly in a sense, which again should be another loophole in terms of pulling people in, sort of make it interesting as an entry point level game. Then again, like, what is going on? Like, how are we, or I say we because I'm considering myself part of the community, not just because like I enjoy the game, but I did spit out some content a little while ago playing the entire A through Z playlist essentially of every single character, just trying to not only bring it to the table of people that are unaware of Gigantic, but also just exploring the game itself. So I tried my best sort of spotlighting that. But yeah, no, what happened? Because you'd imagine with this formula, like it should do well. What is your sort of like hot take there?
Well, it all started back when it was first announced and there was no real promise made. It was kind of like, it's coming back. We might add skins and ranked mode, but that was kind of the baseline we got. So there was really no like glimpse into what they were trying to do here with this.
Yeah.
And then I would say the biggest thing right away, week one, few days in, first day, the game just wouldn't even load. You couldn't even get past the loading screen. So that was number one. Number two is
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. I was going to say,
oh yeah,
we should talk about that event at some point because we didn't sign
yeah,
an NDA. We can fucking talk about this. I didn't
we
sign
should.
anything.
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
think we should talk
didn't.
about that because me and you do have insight on something that I haven't shared really. I might have hinted it to my little small community like, hey, something may happen soon. Keep an eye out. Fucking this is gonna be awesome. And then nothing. So we should probably
Very
touch on
sad.
that here in a bit.
We should definitely.
Yeah.
But you know, in addition to just not being able to load into the game, just basic, you know, a
Yeah.
basic thing you should be able to do, you would just get put on the wrong server
Yeah.
many times. Asia ping was a big one. It still is
Yeah.
a big one. I mean, today. And then you would get if somebody disconnected, the game would just go. It would lag insanely,
Mm.
and it would be unplayable.
Yeah.
So I would say those three were pretty big killers. I would say if you can't play a game the first day it's out,
Dude, how crazy is that? How crazy is that? That
yeah,
the
people are
first
just gonna leave.
impression. It's and yeah, you're stuck with a sort of bad taste in your mouth. And it's crazy that it's like you're almost not willing to give it another try. It's
Yeah,
wild
it
how
was-
horribly effective a day one release is. In a good way
It's-
and in a bad way. Sorry. Go ahead.
It's crazy, right? And it's
Yeah.
like everybody remembered this game though. They like came back.
That's the crazy thing. There's
It was
so
the
many
craziest
people-
thing. Everybody was hype as hell.
Yes.
We were,
Yeah. Yeah.
like big streamers were just coming, not even sponsored. They
Yeah.
just wanted to play it.
Yeah.
And guess what? I would watch them not even be able to log into the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, over the years, you'd even see comments throughout YouTube or whatever platform you're looking at, people hoping and wishing, oh my God, I wish this game came back. Oh my God, if
Yep.
only there was another blah, 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 blah. I missed out on not playing it. And then sure enough, here's your second chance. Here's your second it's so depressing. Ugh. I don't know. I don't know how I feel because I know that the team that developed this wasn't the original team, so I don't know if there is that same sort of bonding. You know what I mean? I don't think they are as depressed as some of us longtime players or longtime fans. I think they're strapped onto this title or IP and kind of just developed it, pushed it out the door, and it is what it is. Probably like a little small round of applause for like thank you for this, I guess, maybe, like I don't know, but other than that, I don't think they're really tied that close to it.
It does feel like the people that initially wanted to bring it back, like there are some people in the Discord, I think their name's like Mav in the Discord, that person really loves the game.
Right.
Like I've seen like a few interviews and it's like they really wanted to bring the game back, but
Right.
I think it's lack of resources that made it so, maybe they don't have all the help they need. Maybe the abstraction just, I gotta be honest, maybe they just suck at their job. I mean, at this point, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And
Not wrong.
I think the first problem though, let's just address this, is
Right.
it's still in the same archaic engine that, I mean, had problems back then.
Unreal 3, right?
But Unreal 3,
Yeah.
like bringing it back in the same engine and then bringing back somehow worse problems that it ever had. I don't know how that even happens, but it did. And I really want to know. I got to know what the marketing budget was for this game because they paid like huge streamers to play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
For like a few days. You would watch them fight bots because they couldn't find real matches or connect to the game and then never play it again.
I think that's a great segue right there in terms of like the money spent and something that viewers or listeners or whatever may not be aware, but me and Failco were invited for a pretty large event. And I don't want to like name drop, but people that know the Ludbuds and or the Yards podcast and Ludwig himself may know that there is a brand that he had that he recently sort of sold off. So there are actually their own entity at this point. Funnily enough, that's a word. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were about to host a big sort of tournament for at least a day or two, whatever that was, sort of an invitational. So we were invited to this quote unquote invitational and joined even a Discord at some point. There was a date even and it might have gotten pushed once or twice at some point. But
Yep.
there was a build up towards something big happening, and I was just like, oh shit, like this could be that launch that we're all sort of hoping and waiting for it being streamed in front of thousands of viewers. Even me and you would benefit from this for somehow, maybe, you know, get a few viewers on in our community, and it would have been great. It would have been a great opportunity for, I think, smaller creators, and nothing. At one point we got an email saying you know, it got canceled indefinitely, and that right there, I was like, yeah, no, I think it's done. At this point, I think it's done. What are your...
I could really use the money too.
Well, wait, yeah, I totally forgot how much. Do you remember how much like the prize pool there was?
Oh god, I think it was like 10K or something. It was a lot of money. That was like for winning, and then I think it went down like 2K per tier.
per person. Like it was like in the 50K though, right? Because
Yeah,
you would have to split it up amongst your teammates. Yeah,
absolutely insane amount.
Yeah.
Like
it was
like,
a
I was like,
huge
oh,
number.
Try hard pants? Oh yeah, I'll
Right?
carry this
Yeah.
team to victory.
I'm starting to email people like, do you know how to play this game, bro? I need you on my
Right?
team. Come to find out, it was all just
Strapped
content
together.
creators.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there was
Oh,
definitely a
man.
build up to like it becoming something, and again, a huge letdown over and over and over again. By the way, I asked one of my friends earlier. I was like, hey, if you had any questions for somebody that is a gigantic, you know, longtime fan or content creator, what would you ask them? Here's the question. I'm curious if you think, aside from how it landed from the get-go, like day one and whatnot, is the game actually better from what we remember back in the day?
No.
It's not better.
It's no better than it launched before.
No, it's like 2.0 minus 2. Like what is going on? That's
The thing is, they added like a mode that is fun. I would say like it's a fun mode that they added, but like, does it add anything new really to the game? Like, no, this is the same game basically I've played years ago,
right.
except worse somehow. I don't know how, but it is worse. So no, I just feel like there's still nothing that teaches you how to play. There's still nothing that makes it easier for anybody new joining.
Right.
I mean, I think this game is literally the TF2. It's like, this is just for people who want to play, have fun, complain all you want. Who cares?
What do you think about that entry point now being $20 then, right? Like, if that is the case, wouldn't it have been easier to just remain free to play? Like, I wouldn't, based on the numbers, I wouldn't have seen the difference in if this was free to play or not. I think we would have had the same amount of numbers as players would have found out and or known this game was live.
Well, I mean,
unless it was, I hate to call this a cash grab, but like development time went into it. I know development time went into it, so there needs to be, somebody needs to be paid. So fair.
Yeah.
Right? But like, what happened? Like, what did you develop?
Right. So there was a point when it was still starting out that I remember seeing a lot, like a significant amount of people being like, why does it cost money now? Like, I don't want to pay for that.
And
So
I even stood up for it. I was like, fuck
Yeah.
this is awesome. If this is what it takes to revive dead games, fucking spend your $20. Support the
Yeah.
developers.
I bought like 10 copies.
I feel like I got slapped across the face for saying that. I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's really strange because it's like, yeah, we paid money to get into it, and
Right.
then like, what did you really get? You got a product that you can unlock everything in it, great, but the quality of the game was really low.
Yeah.
So would it have been worth it if the quality was high? Like, maybe you would have actually been having fun. But in terms of like, you know, bringing new players in, I've seen some.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why, but they're here.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're having fun, but they
Yeah.
exist.
No, it makes sense. And for me, it was even hard. I would consider myself, but at least for this Rampage edition, to consider myself as a new player. Because again, like, I didn't know what every single hero does. So in comparison to somebody that knew, I don't know what the hell was
Dude.
going on, right? Like,
After years of not playing, we all felt new. We were like, how? What?
yeah.
But I kind of agree. Oh, my camera froze. That's fun.
Yeah, you good.
I kind of agree. Like, honestly, when I was playing it, I felt like maybe this is a sort of payment that will go towards a future, maybe Gigantic 2 or something. Like, maybe they'll use it, but I wouldn't be pissed if the game worked.
Right.
I would be fine. Here, take my money. I bought a ton of founders packs for the original Motigans. I was like, yeah, please keep making this.
Mm.
Um, so I think I'd feel differently if the game worked. But I kind of agree with you. It kind of feels a little scummy,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
to
I
pay
don't
for
think
an
there's anything wrong
yeah.
about that. Like mentioning or saying it like that or describing it like that. It does feel a little shitty.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. And then it's not like okay, I want an apology. I want a freaking apology. I'm sorry the game is a mess and we messed up. Like we apologize to you, the community, the people who we said we're doing this for,
Do
but
they
we
know
won't.
we're mad? Do they
Oh,
do they
they gotta know.
I wonder if they think they're like proud of bringing it back kind of thing.
Man, I wonder if
I don't
because we're
really see
mad.
them in the Discord, to be honest.
I saw them today posting things like weird snippets of lore randomly, and I was like,
Okay.
go back to fixing the
Yeah,
game.
right. How yeah. How tone deaf are you? I mean, not to be rude or anything, but that yeah, that's
I just want to know what it's like over there. Is everything on fire? Is like a hamster powering the servers? Like, what is happening over there?
right. The the way it came back in the first place was through the community. And I think the community does have a pretty big say and or passion to say what is wrong or right with the game, right? So in terms of like the community and developer interaction there, my impression is it was a lot more in version 1 than it is now in version 2. Would that be like a correct assumption, you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean,
Motiga was around a little bit more and
it was their baby,
yeah,
and they had something that I'm sorry, the current team doesn't have. They
right,
have a community manager that
right,
is engaging with people. Like everyone remembers SoFetch. No
yeah,
one will forget.
right,
Um, like there's no SoFetch right now, and it feels a little tone deaf in a lot of ways.
yeah. Probably a little empty in comparison. If you had something to
Oh,
compare it to, at least, yeah.
like you can see like the little dust bowls like going through the discords. Like, hello,
Yikes. Yeah. That
devs.
sucks. That sucks that there's no like real enthusiasm behind this, and that's kind of what it feels like overall. There's no like real drive. You know, it
Yeah,
seems like they have these like placeholder now releases or fixes that they're just gonna churn them out, and at some point, just like, all right, we're done. On to the
I know.
next.
And even if that's not true, like even if these people have passion and like love
Mm,
this and feel bad, we'll never know
yeah.
because either they're being too professional in a weird way
Right.
or
Hush,
they just
hush.
they're missing why we like the game and the community.
Yeah.
And the weird part to me is there's so many people playing the game now that were playing like on the private servers, not even when the game was alive the first time. Isn't that the craziest thing?
So I was unaware of that there were private servers at some point. So was that happening while the game wasn't around? Like
Yes.
okay, so yeah, touch on that because I have no idea. I only recently found out once I started doing like that playthrough. I was like, wait, people have been playing this?
Yeah.
So what's that about?
Okay, yeah. So like the game died
Right.
and there were a ton of like passion projects trying to bring back versions of that.
Mm.
I was on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
It went bad. But anyway, people got a hold of like the source code and basically had the game up and running like hush hush kind of way.
Can you tell me there were
Um
more people playing that than the numbers that I'm looking at, or at least
Not
close to?
more, but there were a significant amount of people who
Right.
would join. I was like invited and I was like, no, like you don't understand. I'm devastated this game is gone. I can't keep
Right.
playing.
Right.
But that's how actually some people started playing it from the private servers. Like they were like, I've always wanted to play this, never
Mm.
got to, and
Yeah.
that's how and now they're really good,
Yeah.
which is crazy stuff. They've been playing for years,
That's crazy.
training in secret.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild that, again, there's so much passion there to be able to like modify files just to be able to continue playing the game.
Right. And then I know for sure, like some people who actually revived the game had been talking to people on the private servers about like stuff they wanted. And I know some of that I'm sure made it into the game. I wish I knew more about that because, like I said, I stayed pretty far away from that stuff because
Yeah.
I heard it could get pretty toxic. Go figure.
Right.
Being toxic.
Yeah, right.
I've never been toxic my whole life. So
Okay.
I don't know.
I think us
Um,
gamers are naturally toxic, but
yeah, especially yeah, if you play PvP games.
MOBA games, yeah, it just comes with it, and there's no hiding it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's wild though.
Yeah.
Like to hear especially that the private servers were more stable than the ones in that is the craziest thing.
The stability thing, that's wild. That's wild to me.
Mhm.
Um, there was something else during that whole time of that announcement of that tournament happening. I reached out to another, I want to say, well-known community-oriented person, and they mentioned to me that this tournament was probably going to be the worst idea ever, just due to the fact, like you said, the stability reasons. If for whatever reason
Mhm.
we had the ability to sync up and make custom servers and link up with each other, like who would actually host the server, and what would that lag even be like if we are sharing servers, or is there's like a dedicated server? I think that part was what actually sort of killed that tournament, so to say. So yeah,
Yeah.
like you said, like it being more stable during its private secret days seems insane that the
I know.
developer of the product itself cannot handle that responsibility to
It's
give
pretty
us
wild.
to give us a working product. It's wild to me.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of teams now trying to have like team games, team against team,
Hmm.
and like they can't connect to each other or the host is so laggy that the game is like unplayable. Like that's too bad. Like
No.
peer to peer, it just doesn't work well for this.
It's annoying. That's annoying.
Yeah.
I'm annoying. I'm always get mad. I get like passionately mad about this because there's monetization that were or monetization blah 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 monetization efforts that went into this. There's literally people pouring their hearts out over this game. Like there's obviously passion for it, and then for like what we discussed, what a day one failure, a second chance, maybe a missed opportunity in terms of actually it being a paid product, so there's an entry point fee to a dead game that is hard to sort of swallow based on past experiences. Faulty servers, like it just seems like there's so many rocks being thrown at this for it to not to succeed, and there's only like it's hard to like fault the developers, but at the same time it's kind of easy to, because I don't know, somebody dropped the ball there, and there's a lot of balls being dropped.
Too many balls.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do
I
you think?
like your passion for anger.
I'm calm right now. I had a little bit of wine before we got started. I was like, I need to like chill out because I'm gonna start yelling into this microphone. So let me just, all right, chill.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely passionate about this whole like monetization aspect of like the big corpo, especially. That's like my vibe. That's like what I lean towards usually. But or at least try to bring it to the forefront so to discuss. But in terms of gigantic. Now, I guess we need to see what this ranked thing actually does, right? So, what is this is like the preseason now happening to what ranked
Yeah.
will potentially be? So, in my eyes, this is like they're probably doing some tests in the background, some back end shit, just to figure out if this is actually working, what the MMR numbers even look like. You know what I mean? Like this data stuff being driven. But
Yeah.
I'm assuming that at some point season one will start, and that initial spike to me will tell me exactly what to expect moving forward. Because if it's
Yeah.
preseason, we have what 120 odd players just for preseason. Okay, all right, sure. But what else is there to sort of chase as a new player to want to even consider investing my time into playing your game? You know what I mean? What is there? Because if you're sitting there
Um,
thinking there
I
isn't
shouldn't.
much.
It's taken me too long to figure
Yeah.
out something. Because you like the
Mm,
characters and you're like, they're cool. Yeah. Ooh, they're
mm,
all unlocked though. So
okay. Sweet.
skins. Oh yeah, you could grind for skins.
Yeah, I'm
Might
gonna go
take
play
you
Valorant. I'm good. You know what I mean? Like
shit.
that's what people are gonna say, right? Like to me, and this is a recent discovery. To me, buying a game and playing a game is kind of like the comparison of a business hiring a person. Like, why are you valuable to me and my time? Why should I invest in you? You know what I mean? It's the same thing as like
Yeah.
having your 5 set of games that you always go to, right? Like, why should I invest time and or money in Gigantic if these 3 can do your job better? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I think it's a game if you enjoyed it in the past and you want to play with your friends, that's a good reason to
There
play
you
it.
go.
But
Yeah.
other than that, if you have depression, don't play it.
It's a good one. Yeah, no, yeah. That sucks. So, all right. Yikes. It's I wanted to keep this like a happy conversation, but it's like it's very difficult to sort of talk happy about Gigantic.
You could tell me your happiest memory you have of the game.
I honestly, what you just said about playing with your friends, week 1 release of the first version, I was playing with my friends, and they're
Hey.
probably the happiest time that I had playing the game with my friends.
Yeah, that's awesome.
There was a point where we were playing the game. I have a video even. We were playing the game and we called our friend to tell him to hop on, or he called us. He was drunk. He was at a party, he was drunk. And the thing he said, I want to play Gigantic. I'm like, that's cool. First of all, I have that on recording. Second of all, the fact that there's that much passion for a drunk guy at some party in New York City to tell me that he wants to play Gigantic with his friends tells me that at some point the game was fucking awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously. It can be. I still think it can be fun, but it depends what your version of fun is.
Right.
I played it on Friday with a bunch of people. I had a few drinks. It was great. We were having a fun time. There was one game where the Guardians didn't even show up on the map. Whatever. We just played anyway. It was great. So it really depends. Are you looking for a game that has like, content being thrown out a lot? Well, Gigantic, I don't think will ever be that game, unfortunately. I think it is what it is, and maybe it'll get better, but it doesn't mean anybody's going to stick around, which sucks.
Yeah, you have to be a realist at this point. Like, you can't just dream and hope. I don't think dreaming and hoping right now is going to get you anywhere other than just being a little bit more heartbroken than you already are.
Yeah, my heart is like broken. It's been broken a long time ago. It's mummified. Who cares? You know, I'm like, whatever at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, you know what? It's cursed, I guess.
The
I don't know.
first love always hurts the most, and then later on, it's like you kicked around so many times you don't give a damn anymore. I get it. Yeah.
When the game died the first time, I cried for like days. I was like, everyone, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
Do not mention Gigantic.
Yeah.
But now it's like, I can hop on. I can look at people getting mad in the Discord if I want.
Yeah.
But I wish they weren't. I wish they were all having fun and happy.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, to conclude this wrap up, which again I might have thanked you way too many times, but thank you for taking the time.
Thank me some more.
Okay. What's the future of Gigantic looking like to you, realistically? Gigantic Rampage Edition specifically. Where is this game in 5 years?
In 5 years?
That's a typical question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Gosh.
Okay, let's in 1 year.
In 1 year. Okay. So I think Gigantic will still it might be there still. It might just be there. But it might just have a few very dedicated people playing the game with their friends.
Yeah.
Maybe 100 people play this game.
Yeah.
Forever.
And it'll just simmer.
I think that's it. Like maybe they'll add some new skins here and there, maybe some new badges and beautiful emote artwork. But I mean, in terms of new content, I'm not sure the game went to a place where they're comfortable doing that. So I think I think
we're at a pretty final stage of the game.
This is where it is. Yeah, I think this is the product we have, and maybe it'll get like stable at some point, but I think it'll just be in this state.
Yeah.
I hate it. No.
I know.
Gigantic lives forever.
It will. It does in our hearts. Yikes. Cringy. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to keep this sort of short and brief. I think that you had definitely a better perspective than I would have been able to bring to YouTube. My objective was to cover it from the get-go at the beginning, to bring it to people's attention, because I know there was a drive to like, we gotta get content creators out there to talk about the game. I tried to hop onto that ship to sort of just talk about it and stuff, but
and you did great, honestly. You brought a lot of attention to it, so
thanks.
I mean,
I try.
Good job.
Yeah. But segue from content, where can people find you? What are you gonna be doing? Are you gonna be playing some Marvel? Are you going to be streaming it? What is going on? And we'll just close it off with you sort of giving the outro here.
Oh, okay, cool. You can find me on, X. I hate saying that. Twitter.
Yeah, she said X.
I hate that I said that.
Dude.
Cut that out. Cut that out. All right, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch as Failco Punch.
Right.
I'm definitely gonna be hopping on Marvel Rivals. I really like that.
I saw the video. Dude, you should
kind of worked.
You should pump it out. Like you should. I know you're working full time probably, but try to. I don't know. I'm just not being YouTube guru right now, but like try to like invest as much time on your free time to sort of just encapsulate the game. You know what I mean? There's one thing that I always learned from like big streamers. They were like, or smaller streamers would ask big streamers, how do you get big or how do you become somebody? Get good at one thing. Get good at one thing. It doesn't mean like get good at the game, but get good at explaining the game. Get good at tutorializing the game. Get good at one thing, and people will come back for you for that. You know what I mean? So if you really do like this Marvel thing, I did not get the key, so I'm kind of jealous you managed to sort of dabble with that.
I begged for a key and got it from somebody by Discord.
You're annoying. I should have done that.
If I get another key, I'm gonna give it to you.
I appreciate it. But yeah, no, just I mean, we can talk offline, you know.
Definitely.
Cool.
Yeah. No, great advice. I always know that my weakness is like, okay, I'm off camera, I'm tired. Like it's like, no, you gotta fucking sit there and do your editing, and maybe I gotta watch more of your videos to inspire me of how I should.
Don't do that. Don't do
that. What are you talking about? You're doing great.
I'm like all over the place, honestly. I just finished a racing video, like best racing game online. I'm covering some
video.
I did finish the video. You're right.
That's an accomplishment.
Right.
I don't know.
I'm so much better than you, I guess. Jeez, I'm just kidding.
Damn it.
I'm just kidding.
I'm glad you're feeling inspired again to like make stuff. I know you told me you were like,
I was in content drought. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be hard, right?
Dude, I feel like that's a whole nother conversation that we can have like on a podcast or something. Just being a content creator as a whole can be devastating, because this will be a side tangent. I don't care. It's part of the video. Your love for Gigantic was the same for me for like 2 other games that died. They're both like RTS games. I was more of like strategy gamer back in the day. So like Dawn of War 3 was one of them, and then Iron Harvest was another one. And they both died for me at like my peak content creation. So I felt it not only like emotionally, but at some point financially, because I became like a full-time content creator. So twice I had to like recover from that. I'm just like, Jesus. Like having to rely on a game to be successful enough to give people content that they want. You know what I mean? Like there's a kind of life cycle that you depend on. And if one of those pieces don't fall into place, you're kind of shit out of luck. So there's this like natural sort of wanting to hype up a game because I want to be able to benefit as much as you want to enjoy the game. You know what I mean? So that's just like this. Yeah,
that's kind of where I'm at right now. My stream, my YouTube's basically all Gigantic stuff, and now that it's where it is, I have a very low desire to make videos, or if I do, they just do shit. So it's kind of like, well,
that's kind of what did I write to you yesterday? Don't care. Just do content that you want to fucking do. Honestly, just do whatever you want to do. Because what I did was I made content, the game died, and I was like, shit, no one's gonna watch all my other stuff. Like, why would anyone give a damn about like racing games now? You know what I mean? But like, if you are passionate enough about it, and that comes across, people are like, wait a minute, this girl or this guy knows exactly what they're talking about. Like, you know what I mean? You'll start like bringing in people just because, again, you're passionate and you're not like talking shit just for the clicks.
Oh, awesome. Well, maybe I'll send you a video and be like, review this.
Okay.
5 minutes long. Tell me what I did good and bad, please.
Yeah, no, we can do that. We can sit down and have work sessions. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Anyways,
God, you're the best.
Thank you for stopping in. Again, I try to keep this like 30 minutes tops. I think we're over, but it's all good. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for spieling and talking about Gigantic. And
I love Gigantic, even if it's where it is.
You know what's weird? Like saying bye to you, but keeping the recording on, because you know we're gonna chat after this anyways. But yeah, bye everyone. See you later. And now I hit stop recording. Yeah.